Hi there, I'm Nancy Nash with Starfish Strength, and today I want to give you 2 stretches to make your legs and your lower back feel fantastic. So for this demonstration, you do need one sturdy chair, and then you need a second supportive surface. So that could either be a wall, another chair, or a good sturdy desk. So you want to line up your chair so that you're going to be able to put your foot on top of it. My legs are pretty long, so that chair is pretty far behind me. If your legs are shorter, just adjust slightly. I want to just line up my feet so that my ankles are right underneath my hips. And that's going to set us up for stretching these muscles in good alignment. To swing the leg on top, I'm actually hinging at the waist and then putting my foot on the chair. Now I'm going to think about slowly pushing my weight into the ball of this foot to straighten my body. I'm also going to kind of pull my abs in simultaneously as I think about thrusting this hip forward, the foot that's on the chair. So what you should start to feel is a good strong stretch down the thigh and maybe something in the front of the hip as well. So the more I can really straighten that leg that's supporting me and thrust the hip forward on the side that I'm stretching, the more I should really feel this stretch all the way down to and maybe through the knee. It's okay to feel stretching through the knee. You do not want any sharp pain, but a little pulling is totally normal. So if you do feel any sharp pain, just take yourself out of this position, swing the leg off, sway the hips side to side for a bit. If you don't have anything medically wrong with your knee, then I suggest checking out my rolling videos, seeing if you can relieve some of that tightness in the leg that way, and then try this stretch. So I would hold that stretch for about 30 seconds on one side before switching to the other side. Getting into the stretch on the second side, again, I want to push my hips back. I want to swing my foot onto the chair, and then I'm going to push through the ball of the foot that's on the floor and begin to straighten my body. So straightening my body, I want to make sure I don't put a sway in my back. So I'm going to pull the belly button in and think about thrusting that hip forward of the knee that's on the chair. And we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. So let's try this one more time on each side. So pushing the hips back, swinging the leg off. I'm going to swing that first leg back on, and then I'm going to push through that foot that's in the floor to straighten myself up and think about thrusting the hip forward. The second time through, this should feel a little freer. You shouldn't feel quite as much resistance. You might feel resistance somewhere new, and that's okay too. So going back to the second leg, second time around, pushing the hips back, and then pushing through that foot in the floor to really straighten the spine, pulling my belly button in and thrusting the hips forward. So now I'm hoping that your hips feel pretty good. They feel open. If you feel a little pulling in your low back, that's okay. Again, I shouldn't have anything sharp anywhere. There should be no sharp pain in the knee. There should be no sharp pain in the back. That's telling me that there's something else going on there that I need to address before I try this stretch. So hopefully the thighs and hips are feeling a little more flexible. Secondly, we're going to stretch the calves, and we only need one supportive surface for this stretch. All right, so I'm going to take a long lunge step back here. So in taking this step, I want to make sure that I don't step so far back that I can't straighten that back foot. You might find if you kind of start going really far back, it's actually quite difficult to keep that foot straight. So just keeping that in mind, that I want to be able to keep that foot straight. I want to be able to pull my abs in, kind of tuck that pelvis, and then I want to be able to push into the balls of my feet. So once I've done those 3 things, Facing the toes and heels in the same direction, I'm gonna slightly lunge into that forward leg, using my surface here so that I can feel a good stretch down the back calf. And then taking a look at the knee that's in front, I wanna make sure that that is in line with my ankle. So after you've held for about 20 seconds on the first side, go ahead and let yourself switch sides. So I'm gonna line up my feet, making sure that the ankles are about hip distance apart, that I've got my knee in line with the toes. Now you might notice that this feels a lot more resistant on one side versus the other. That's pretty normal. Humans are creatures of habit. We do have left to right dominance in different areas of our body. So if you do notice that one side is tighter, just be patient with it. Just breathe into it. Stretching should never be something that we force. We want to just ease into it. So the second time through, see if you can find something new for yourself. So pulling the abs in, bending that front knee, and making sure that I'm really driving that back heel into the ground. Perhaps you find that even with that pelvic tuck, you can step that leg back just a little bit further and you find a little more length in those muscles. Or maybe you're starting to notice that inner thigh stretch as you keep the knee in line with the ankle. Maybe that part feels new this time. And then stepping the feet back together, we're gonna try that one more time on the other side. So aligning my feet so they're nice and straight. I'm gonna pull the abs in, lunge into that forward leg, and then just get into that stretch. Trying to find that in the back calf, and then maybe also in the inner thigh and front of the hip. But I do want to focus on that alignment. I want to make sure I'm able to keep the knee in line with the ankle, get a really good stretch. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that demonstration brought you just a little closer to seizing your inner star, and maybe you found some added flexibility today. And let me know how this worked for you and what you'd like to see me cover next. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. I hope that your body feels fantastic and you feel empowered to go do everything else you want to do today.